Okay, so we're on level 2 now, and yes, I know I'm a bit late on it, and I apologize. I will make sure to get level 3 out for next week, and level 4 as quickly as I can, as I was working on other projects before, so I should be able to focus on these challenges now. Anyways, let's get straight into it. The amount of blood points that you'll be able to earn in level 2 is 590,000 blood points, and overall in level 2 it's not too difficult to achieve, but it does have a few challenges that's going to be a little bit difficult. So we're going to be starting off with the killers this time, and then moving into the general challenges and then the survivors. The first challenge is make them suffer. Have 4 survivors be injured, hooked, or dying at the same time while using the perk Thanatophobia. I found this challenge relatively easy, as I was able to achieve this in one game. So the main idea is to injure everybody as quickly as you can and make it a nightmare for survivors to heal. And so for this, I brought Sloppy Butcher, Thanatophobia, Nurse's Calling, and Claustrophobia, so people in your terror radius can't heal quickly. I can guarantee you with this build, you won't have an issue with achieving this challenge. This can be achieved in 1 to 2 games, maybe a bit longer if you aren't too experienced as killer. Next is Thorough Destruction. Damage a generator or destroy a dropped pallet 10 times in a single trial. This will require you to focus on kicking generators and pallets in a single game. I would advise following the weakest survivor who isn't too experienced in the game, as they will more likely to pull down a lot of pallets and make your life so much easier. If there isn't any newer survivors, then just going to a gen and kicking it, then move away, and 99% of the time the survivor will go back to that gen to try and fix it. You just keep going back and forth until you kicked it 10 times. So this makes this really easy to achieve. You don't really necessarily need to bring any certain perks, but Brutal Strength, Fire Up, and Spirit Fury might help with this challenge. This can easily be achieved in one game. Bloody Good. Hit a survivor with your weapon 20 times. Now this isn't individual survivors like it was in level 1. All you have to do is hit them with your basic attack weapon. So you'll want a killer like the Legion to make this challenge a lot easier. Hitting survivors is very straightforward, as you know, but if you are having a bit of trouble finding survivors, I would suggest bringing any aura perks and tracking perks that will help you. These perks can be Barbecue and Chili, Infectious Fright, or even Bitter Murmur. This challenge can be achieved in 1 to 3 games. Next up is Sealed Shut. Close the hatch 1 time. This is another simple challenge where you have to find a hatch before the survivor. This can be done easily if you bring a perk that slows down the endgame. So what I brought was Noed, Remember Me, Blood Warden, and Rancor. For this, it is important that once all the gens have been popped, don't worry about chasing survivors, just try and find the hatch on the floor. Chase the survivors out of the gates, and typically there's always usually one survivor who acts cocky and they usually just stick around somewhere. If this doesn't happen to you, then you would down a survivor and just leave them down and try and push out all the rest of the survivors. When all the survivors leave, the hatch will open and you know exactly where it is. So this challenge can be completed within 1 to 2 games. Next is Execution. Kill 8 survivors by any means. Now for this challenge, it's going to be a little bit harder, as killing a survivor requires you to have Moris, ideally the ebony ones or the ivory ones. It is also important that you bring someone like Myers, as he has add-ons that instantly kill survivors, whether they're healthy or injured. Perks that I would bring is Rancor for obvious reasons, Noed, Devour Hope, and Barbecue and Chili, or Infectious Fright if you are bringing Myers. Bring a Mori when you can, and you should be able to kill some survivors per game. It took me 3 games to complete, but you can do it in 2 if you bring the Ebony Mori. Chain Combo. Hit a survivor 2 times within 5 seconds after chaining at least 2 blinks as a nurse. Now this challenge is much like a similar challenge in level 1, except you have to chain blink, which means you have to blink more than once. Simply bringing an add-on that helps you see your blinks will really be helpful if you are new to the nurse, and bring anything that gives you the exposed status effect. I brought Haunted Grounds and make your choice for this. This will be a trial and error, but it's not impossible. You will only need to do it twice in 1 game, and this challenge can be achieved in 1 to 2 games. Dark Triumph. Sacrifice 1 survivor to the entity during the endgame collapse. So this is very similar to the previous challenge involving the hatch. Bring an endgame build such as Blood Warden, Remember Me, Noed, and just wait until you have your moment. Open up the door ASAP and then look for survivors. You can then patrol camp if needed, or you try pushing out the other survivors. What I did was I hook a survivor twice, and as soon as all the gens have been done, then I hunt down that certain survivor who's been hooked twice and then leave them down. And then I will hook them once I have opened the door. This challenge can be achieved in 1 to 2 games. Hunter's Ambition. Start a chase with 12 different survivors. This is very, very easy. I don't think I need to talk about this for very long. Basically, find each survivor and start a chase with them. This should easily be finished in 3 games, obviously 4 survivors per game. And if one survivor is hiding somewhere, then bringing Bitter Murmur or Barbecue and Chili will really help. This can be achieved in 3 games. Buried Underground. Hook 5 survivors in a basement. Now, I'd say this is probably the hardest killer challenge because if you don't have the right perks, this is going to be a bit of a struggle. First off, you would want to bring a offering for a certain maps that has the basement in the middle. If you don't really know maps too well, then I have made a worst to best maps where I have talked about which maps have basements in the middle of the map that will really help out for killers, such as Wrecker's Yard on Autohaven. You will need to bring Agitation and Iron Grasp to make this challenge so much easier. This challenge can be completed around 2 to 4 games. So overall, you'll be earning 275,000 blood points for all the killer challenges, and it's roughly easy to complete. They're just a little bit more tedious than difficult. And it will take about 14 to 19 games to complete all the killer challenges. Moving on to the general challenges, as you know, this can be done by either the killer or the survivor. There is only 2 of them, which is to collect the red glyphs and to get gold badges at the end of the game. Starting off with Glyph Seeker, commune with 4 red glyphs. And as you know from the previous video, red glyphs are just found all across the map and you just need to find them. But you have to find 4 of them, so this will take 4 games to complete. I would suggest bringing the Wraith and just looking around the map as quickly as you can. The last one is Golden Age, which you have to earn 8 emblems of gold quality and better, which is iridescent. Simply just play the game and you're most likely going to get gold unless you get completely slaughtered by the killer. If you have issues getting gold emblems, I would suggest focusing on gens and sneaking around, as that will give you a guaranteed 3 golds by the end of the game. Bring a perks like Spine Chill so you know when the killer is coming, and keep yourself protected. And I would also suggest bringing Adrenaline to increase your survival rate. This can be completed in 2 to 4 games. So at the end of the general challenges, you will be able to earn an easy 60k in blood points, and it will take around 6 to 8 games to complete both challenges. Moving on to the survivor side, we have Appeal to Heal. Fully deplete 4 medkits. Now I assume most of you have got at least 4 brown medkits. Now it's time for you to actually use them and bring them to games, because these are the ones with the least amount of charges. So what you're going to do is you're going to get yourself hit by the killer and try and escape. If you can't escape, then get yourself hooked, and then once you're unhooked, use the medkit. It only takes 1 full heal to use up, and it's very, very easy. A cheeky way of getting this done even quicker is that you bring Pharmacy, which allows you to get a green medkit out of a chest the first time. So once you've used your brown medkit, then use the perk Pharmacy, get another medkit, and then just keep yourself getting hit, and then use the medkit up as much as you can. If you don't want to use it, then use it on other survivors, and this will really help out your team as well. So essentially you can use up 2 medkits in 1 game. This challenge can be done in 2 to 4 games. Next up is As Long As It Gets Fixed. Finish repairing a generator, or have another survivor finish repairing the generator 12 times. So what I did for this challenge is that I had Bond and Prove Thyself, and I just went around doing generators with other survivors. And it doesn't even matter that you complete it with them, as long as you do a bit of it with them and they fix it, that means you've achieved a point. I was able to at least get 4 generators per game done. So if you focus on gens, you will get this challenge done quickly. This can be achieved in 3 to 5 games. Yes, I know, it's quite a long one. Strategic Alliance. Perform a cooperative action for 180 seconds. Now the best way to achieve this is pretty much the same as the previous challenge, which is just get generators done. So you should bring the same build as you would for the gen build, except that you take out Prove Thyself and make sure you have something like Better Together or Bond, as it will help out finding what other survivors are doing which generator, or it will get other survivors to do your generator. This challenge can be completed in 1 to 3 games, most likely 2 games. Craft time's over, cleanse 15 totems. Now this challenge took me ages to complete because even with an optimized build, it's going to at least take you 3 games to complete. And that's if you're lucky. You will need to bring Detective's Hunch, as I feel like it would be better than Small Game, but bring Small Game anyway because it doesn't hurt bringing an extra perk to find totems. I also brought Resilience and Iron Will for that added bonus speed to break totems, but it isn't necessary. This is going to be a long one and it's going to take 3 to 5 games to complete. Heroic Cause. Finish healing a dying survivor or recover by yourself while using the perk Empathy. You got to do this 2 times in 1 game. Okay, this challenge is pretty hard to complete. It took me 2 hours to complete this challenge because due to the killers knowing what they were doing and sometimes luck is just involved. The best way to complete this is having For the People and Unbreakable. These 2 perks will make this challenge so much easier. So what I did was that I followed a survivor when they're being chased until they go down. Once they go down, I quickly run towards that survivor and use For the People. You're going to have to do this quickly though, and make sure you are pretty close, because the killer will just immediately pick them up. So you got that bracket of time to use For the People, and most likely the killer will hit you and you go down. And that's when things are very unreliable, because they will either leave you down, or they will go and chase the survivor you just healed. Sometimes they will pick you straight up, or they will go for that survivor. If they decide to go for that survivor, then this gives you your chance to use Unbreakable. This means you can potentially complete this in 1 game, but this all depends on how lucky you are. I think it's going to take you about 3 games up to 6 games to complete. I know, and it sucks. Speed Bump. Vault a pallet or window while being in a chase 5 times as Yuri Kimura. Another simple challenge, you just want to bring the Vault build, which consists of Spine Chill and Resilience, and you just want to look killer like you normally would, and you should not easily be able to complete this challenge in 1 game. Item of interest. Escape the trial while carrying an item or very rare rarity or better. So this challenge is very easy if you do this method. So you would want to bring a very rare key with you and just play the game. And just make sure you bring Left Behind as well, just in case your team does fail, and then just be stealthy and cautious as you can. When you have the opportunity, then make sure to use the key. Make sure you bring that add-on for the key, where if you use the key on the hatch, then it doesn't actually consume the key. So if you have that add-on, and you've got your key, and you use the hatch, done. You've escaped with the trial with 1 very rare item. This can be easily achieved in 1 to 2 games with this method. Generosity. Heal a total of 10 health states of other survivors. This is another long challenge. Basically, you will just need a dedicated healing build consisting of Will Make It, Body Knowledge and Empathy, and just focus on healing survivors as much as you can. I'm pretty sure you can use medkits as well for this challenge, and using this build will easily get this challenge done. You can probably get it done in 2 to 4 games. Lastly, we have Deadly Race. Be chased by a killer for a total of 120 seconds. Pretty basic stuff, just get chased by the killer for 2 minutes. I would suggest bringing a dedicated Vault build or a distraction build to keep the chase going. If you know how to use Dead Hard, I would highly suggest bringing that with Spine Chill and Resilience, along with any other perk that you would feel that would keep you alive. This can easily be done in 2 to 3 games. So overall for survivors, you'll be able to earn 255,000 blood points, and all the challenges are pretty easy apart from the Heroic Cause, which I would say is quite a hard challenge to complete as it's based on luck. So thank you guys once again for watching. Level 3 will be coming up next week, and I will make sure that is a priority to complete, because I know that the challenges are getting harder and some of you do enjoy my videos to help you. So I will make sure to get on that as soon as I can. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.